Are you excited that you landed your first interview, but not quite sure how to pass your first video interview? Today, I want to show you a 6 simple step process that I have used myself and helped several other individuals use as well to pass their video interviews. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm a current recruiting manager at a Fortune 300 company, and I have over a decade worth of experience helping individuals just like you build brighter careers. And today, I want to show you this 6 simple step process that will immediately help you move on to the next round of interviews. Let's get right into it. Tip number 1 is to connect. Connection is so key. It's so crucial when it comes to video interviews. I'm assuming here that you've already got the right lights, you've got the right camera, you've got the right place, posture, microphone. But the first point when you're entering into the video interview is that you want to connect. So when it comes to connecting, you want to think through both verbal and nonverbal communication. Under nonverbal communication, Dale Carnegie, the famous author and trainer who wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People, says that you want to smile when it comes to connecting with others. When you're on your video interview, you just simply smile, not fake like you're taking some bad picture, but genuinely smile, show you're happy to be on your interview, and you want to sit up. This is the other point on nonverbal communication. Don't slouch down. This shows bad body posture here. Don't be off to the side here. Don't be looking over, randomly in another direction. So you want to sit up with the right posture. And then Vanessa Von Edwards, she wrote a book called Captivate a few years ago. You can Google it, but it's a great book on connection as well. It says that strong eye contact is very important when it comes to connection. We're not talking about staring directly into someone's eyes, but you do want to show eye contact when it comes to connecting non-verbally on a video interview. The verbal side when it comes to connecting on a video interview is that you want to offer a genuine compliment. Again, Dale Carnegie says the sweetest thing someone will hear is the sound of their own name, and I believe it's true if you think about it. So let's say you're on your interview, there's a couple hiring managers there, and you join, you're smiling, you're sitting up, you're staring, looking at the camera, looking at them. Then I would suggest that you have their names memorized or written down before, and instead of saying, "How are you all?" or if you're from the South, "How are y'all doing today?" you would use their names. You would say, "Hey, Joanna, how was your day today?" Or you would say, "Hey, Mike, how are you doing?" Just a simple use of the name is a great rapport builder in connecting with them on a video interview, really all interviews, but specifically on a video interview from the get-go. That is under the connection point number 1. Point number 2 in a video interview is that you want to captivate the hiring managers. What do I mean by this? You want to hold their attention, hold their interest, show your knowledge, and share your research. Again, these are sub-points under the main point of captivate. It is difficult in a video interview if they ask you a question and you're way off in left field over here, you got a cat in the background, there's kids running around. You want to make sure that you are answering a question, especially behavioral questions, in a interesting way. I prefer you tell a personal story. They're easier to remember and you've actually done them. But again, keep the attention of the hiring managers and show that you can have a streamline of thought. So you want to captivate them, being genuinely honest about your experience here and that you're the right candidate for the job. Tip number 3 is that, and this is important here, you want to show that you care. What do I mean by this? This is where you ask about the culture. This is where you show that you're very excited about the job. You're very excited not only for the role that you're applying for, but the company in which you are wanting to join, the career path in which might be there for you, the commonality that you share with the vision, the people. Show that you actually genuinely care about the company. And again, this is under the care section. You want to come with multiple questions. Please, this is my opinion and my experience, my pet peeve even, but come with actual thought out questions here. A good question that I've used and that's helped before is, what is your ideal candidate that you're looking for? Another question might be, what are the biggest challenges of this specific role here? Again, you can Google it, but those are a couple of questions. Come with multiple questions. The next point here, tip number 4, is that you want to leave them. This is not the conclusion, but you want to leave them on a cliffhanger. What do I mean by that? When you're watching Netflix and you get in a really good series and then you get on episode 8 and then all of a sudden it says, to be continued next season. You're like, no, oh my goodness. You want to leave the hiring managers, leave that interview with a lasting impression, wanting them to come back and re-engage with you or move you on to the next round here. Again, this is something that if I have a really good candidate, I'm like, ooh, we've got to move them on quickly. We've got to get them to the next round. And so leave them on a cliffhanger. How can you do this? Well, it goes with connecting. It goes with captivating. It goes with showing that you care. But then also just a small hack here is that, let's say in your job research process in preparing for the actual interview, that let's say it's a digital marketing job and that they are wanting you to come up with a specific design for a new campaign that they have. Well, then you're at a film production company that you're applying for a digital marketing role, and you go ahead and you create a rough outline of what a roadmap could be of a content calendar coming up for, the new year that they have for this specific position. You just create the outline, and at the end of the interview, you say to them, after you've asked them the questions, then you say to them, thank y'all so much for this time. I actually, in my research here for the job and talking to y'all, I actually created a content calendar. So I'll send this over to y'all in the next day or so. Look at it. If you think it's good, feel free to use it as a free resource. If not, no worries. That's an example that I've seen other people do and that I've done in my own experience that has helped. That is tip number 4, is leave them on a cliffhanger. The next tip, which is tip number 5, is you want to compliment them after the interview. You want to do this genuinely. If you can personalize this is awesome. And so taking certain notes about the hiring manager, something that they love. So like, let's say that they love flowers, or they're a massive sports fan, or they love to go hiking, just taking personalized notes. Then in your follow-up, you're not only saying, thank you so much for this interview, I've really enjoyed it. You write those personal notes about them and your experience, and you send that out. My recommendation is by the end of the day, showing that you're still interested. So that is tip number 5. And then tip number 6 here is the craft. You want to craft a project showing that you've already been thinking through the job that you're applying for. Assume in your mind that you're getting to the next round of interviews. And let's say, again, let's go with that example. Let's say that you're applying for a digital marketing role at a film production company, and you send in your rough outline to them in your compliment. Tip number 5, you send the rough calendar outline, content calendar. Well, then tip number 6 is you want to craft and finalize that. Go in and actually do more research on the company, preparing for the details of the actual next round of interviews, and then send that content calendar actually completed and gift it to them as a resource. This is a great follow-up technique that shows you that you are already doing the job that you're applying for and that you really care, and it could help you stand out and set the standard amongst the competition for the other people that you're applying against. That is the 6-step process for how to stand out on a video interview. If you find this beneficial, please stay tuned to this channel. Take care.